The topic of our research is Macmillan's work and the reflection of cultural heritage of academician Efim Karski.
The aim of our work is to find out the extent of significance of scientific heritage of academician Efim Karski.
The object of the research is the academic work of academician Efim Karski.
The subject of the study is the most significant scientific works of Efim Karski.
The main objectives are to study the academic work of academician Efim Karski, to analyze Karski's most significant scientific works, to analyze Macmillan's research on the topic cultural heritage of academician Efim Karski,
to investigate the history of the museum dedicated to Efim Karski in our gymnasium, to get acquainted with the exhibits presented in the museum.
Theoretical value consists in revealing the significance of cultural heritage of academician Efim Karski.
Practical value lies in the opportunity to use discovered results in teaching processes.
Arnold Macmillan is a British scholar of Belarusian and Russian studies, professor of Belarusian literature, and the author of the first English language history of Belarusian language.
From 1960s, Macmillan has supported the Belarusian community and academic Belarusian studies in Britain. He edited the Journal of Belarusian Studies, 1967-1971.
Curious fact, from the very first publications, Macmillan has been using traditional Belarusian Latin alphabet, Latinka, for transliteration Belarusian proper names and other words in his works. Efim Karski is an Australian scientist who worked in the field of linguistics and literary criticism at the turn of the 19th and 20th centuries. He is the creator of Encyclopedia of Belarusian Studies and a scientist who studied the long process of development of the spiritual culture of Belarus.
He studied the local dialects of the Belarusian people. He examined a lot of literary artifacts and organized several ethnographic expeditions around Belarus. The research took him 20 years. As a result of it, he made up 2 maps. On these maps, you can see ethnic and linguistic borders of the settlement of the Belarusian people.
Efim Karski published 3 parts of his famous research, The Belarusians. In this research, we can find clear proofs that our language isn't a dialect of another world language, but an independent one.
In the course of the research, we analyzed Macmillan's research on the topic scientific heritage of academician Efim Karski. We studied the academic work of academician Efim Karski.
We investigated with the history presented in the museum dedicated to Efim Karski and got acquainted with the exhibits presented in the museum. The video of the Museum of Efim Karski has been recorded, which can be used for extracurricular activities, running culture and scientific events, organizing excursions for the students and guests of our gymnasium.
The name of Efim Karski has been connected with our gymnasium since its foundation. When our educational establishment also opened a school gymnasium number 30 in 1990, there was Tatiana Yevtuk among the teaching staff, a graduate of Flasha School. She created a local history club called Spachina on the basis of the humanitarian club. As a result of these club activities, the museum exhibits from the village of Flasha appeared in our gymnasium in 1995.
These exhibits are the basis of our museum. Here we can see personal things of our famous scientist, the nib, the letter, weight, the inkwell, and his lifetime book editions about linguistic problems and ethnography. A special section of the museum is dedicated to Efim Karski's family tree. Here we can see the coat of arms that his family was assigned to. The tree shows how this family started.
Every January, the Karski Decade is held in our gymnasium. The students of the 5th form join our friendly gymnasium family. During the ceremony, the pupils take the oath of gymnasium member. The best students of the 11th form are awarded Efim Karski scholarships.
In conclusion, we would like to quote British professor Arnold Macmillan. Karski was a man of many sides, combining a deep and original intellect with humanity and practicality. It would be too much to compare him to a Leonardo-like figure such as Karina. But nevertheless, Belarusia may be proud to have produced such a rare talent, and deeply grateful to him, both for his inspiring example and for doing in one lifetime what might otherwise have taken several generations to achieve. Thank you for your attention.